Hello everyone, and welcome to ThaiLawForum. I'm here today with Chris Lowenstein, who is one of the most well-known producers in Thailand and has over 35 feature films and TV series under his belt. He also started a production company called Living Films, which was responsible for bringing The Hangover Part 2 to Thailand. Hello Chris, how are you?
Hi. Very good.
Yeah. Okay, so first question, what drew you to this line of work?
To filmmaking in general. You know, I didn't really know I was going to be a filmmaker when I was growing up. So my dad always thought I would be an architect, and then but it was definitely creative. And then when I finally realized it, I was probably 17 or 18, and then that was it. That was what I was going to do once I knew that. And so, if you have that drive, you know what you want to do. It's just such an advantage. So many people struggle with that to find what they really want to do. And so I'm so lucky to have had that moment of like, wait a minute, I want to be a filmmaker. It's obvious. And so once you have that epiphany, then you just go for it.
Yeah. So what made you decide to move to Thailand?
I actually started in film in Portland, Oregon. And so, and I was an assistant director when I started. Kind of moved up through the ranks before I was a producer. And I came to Vietnam in the end of 1990 for a trip where I was actually the photographer on one of the first missions of Americans back to Vietnam, which was a really great trip. But I had prepared for Vietnam, and so what really took me by surprise was Thailand, because, of course, to get to Vietnam at that time, you had to go through Thailand. And I met a woman, Layli Hayslip, who wrote a book called When Heaven and Earth Changed Places, and that was being made into a film by Oliver Stone, a film called Heaven and Earth. And when I met her, she said that they were preparing to make the film in Thailand, and I thought, oh my God, I've got to do whatever I can to get on this film in Thailand, because first of all, I'd kind of already fallen in love with Thailand when I got here. It just resonated immediately with me. And I've traveled a lot of the world, and something about Thailand really is special for me, and always has been, and always will be. And I managed to get on that film, and so then my kind of Thai career started.
Wow. And you are not going back, like you've been here ever since.
Oh, I'm in Thailand, yeah. I'm here for life. And it's funny because just on my way here for the interview, I was having some lunch, and a couple who have worked for me over the years, and actually we were on that film together in 91, and we've done maybe 10 or 12 films together, and we just saw each other and we all gave each other hugs, and I feel like so lucky to have made these incredible relationships with Thai people, and the people that I actually worked for them, my first films, because they were my boss. And then later I started Living Films in 96, and continued to hire the people that I knew. So it's long-term relationships, and you get great loyalty, and our team, you're only as good as your team, and they're amazing people. And Thais are incredibly modest. Yeah. And so they never do this American thing where they're like, I can do this and I can do that and this is me. They just don't do that. Yeah. And so I've had this great niche where I can actually promote Thailand and promote these amazing people for them. Yeah. And it's true. And so then I when I bring films into Thailand, I get to use all these people who we have just amazing mutual respect for each other.
That's amazing. Did you face any difficulties in trying to set up a business in Thailand?
Setting up business in Thailand is not that easy, and also, I'm essentially an artist. I never went to business school, so I was kind of making it up to start.
You're doing really well.
Thank you. I've learned over the years, and frankly, we've recreated our own way of doing business in a way that we see fit, which is a real advantage of working out of Thailand. Because when I first I started Living Films in 1996, and the film infrastructure was, pretty small, and so I've been witness and part of an evolution of an amazing industry in Thailand. And now Thailand is clearly the hub of filmmaking in this whole part of Asia.
Yeah.
And there's really hundreds of productions going on at any given time now in the city. We just finished a production, and in our hotel where we are, we set up a production office, a temporary production office. There's 3 other films happening.
Wow.
In the same hotel. So it's like it's like Los Angeles used to be now in Bangkok. As we've developed the industry and kind of led the way in a lot of ways in terms of like introducing a Western style of accounting and transparency and how we organize a film, and procedures, also legal procedures. And we talk about laws. We came up with a whole slew of our own legal forms for film because we could, because there was no precedent before, and no procedure. So we could actually. I remember setting with my production attorney and sitting in Bangkok and saying, well, why can't we just have contracts that give us the same protections but protect both sides, and that come across as soft and even? Yeah. And what a great concept.
That is a good
but
concept.
It's not the normal one. So we've been able to kind of reinvent how things are done in terms of business and filmmaking.
Is the movie industry different, like from the West to that here in Thailand? Like, is it very different or is it the same?
There's things that are the same about the Thai film industry and things that are different than the West. So we've been able to introduce a lot of the organizational procedures that we have in the West. So in that way, it's very similar. Our forms and our paper trail and the way we organize a film is all essentially the same everywhere. But in Thailand, there's certain things that Thais do really well. So, which is interesting. I think, for example, the crews in Thailand, there's no unions, and so people are happy to wear multiple hats. If an electrician needs to suddenly be grip, or an artist needs to help with action vehicles, people cross line all the time and help each other, which is a really great thing because it's not so regimented and divided, and you end up with more people than you would on your crew. So, like if you go to a restaurant in Bangkok, you'll end up with more waiters than you would if it was in London, right? Okay, it's just normal here. There's more people, but that also enables us to move fast. So, for example, in the production we just did, we had a big car chase and cars were getting smashed. Okay, so let's say let's say a windshield cracks. Well, I've prepared an extra windshield. So suddenly people are just all over the car, changing the windshield. And in 15 minutes, you have a new windshield. It's like F1 racing. It's fantastic. So you move fast with the teams that are here, which is very unusual, I think. In the West, you wouldn't have that construction. You get lots of bodies and you build things quickly. So you're not really waiting for things to be made or set up. It's always happening. And if you have a really organized system, you're thinking ahead to the next shot. It's like this incredibly well-greased machine that's just moving, and it can be very impressive when people come here and see it. I think it's something they're not used to.
So that it's very fluid, like everything works very fluidly.
It does.
So are you working on any exciting projects?
Well, we have a few that are under wraps, so I can't say about that. But we did a really exciting project last year called Gold, which was just released in the States with Matthew McConaughey.
That must have been amazing.
It was incredible. And Steve Gagin directing. And what often happens, and people I don't think realize this, is that independent films are very hard to finance. And so I was actually involved with Gold 5 years before it finally got its funding and green light, and 3 different directors until it was going to be Michael Mann, and then it was going to be Spike Lee, and then it ended up with Steve Gagin, which is a great choice because he was wonderful to work with. And Matthew McConaughey is a great actor and also great to work with. We were shooting in Khao in the south, and our main location, which is the gold mine, if you see the film, was gorgeous. We found that location by rafting on bamboo rafts down the river, and got off the rafts, and we all stood there, and it was like Jurassic Park. It was like, oh, this is amazing. We have to make the set here, which is really exciting, and there was no road, so I had to build roads. I had to create infrastructure for the film. But on the third day of shooting, after an incredibly difficult prep, and we hardly slept the last 2 weeks to get it all ready in time. And on the third day of filming, the river in that river basin rose 6 meters in 36 hours.
Oh my goodness.
And completely covered our set. So imagine, and we were already exhausted by that time. So we put our schedule on its head and found a new spot, which was actually in another province in Krabi, and recreated it so that we could match it and still use the footage from the first 3 days. And we finished on the same day we were supposed to finish the production, on the dot.
It's very impressive. These are professionals working. They're very professional about it.
I can say now. We're very
It took a lot to get there.
We're very proud of it, but I think I slept for like 6 straight days when it was done. So, yeah.
Okay, so what does the future look like for Living Films and for Thai cinema?
I think the future is really bright. I think that with the advent of a new distribution system in the world, which is online streaming, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, and all of these, it's really actually spurned creativity everywhere. So, for example, Netflix originals now have productions in countries where they're embracing the production teams in those countries. So, for example, Narcos, they shot in Colombia with a Colombian crew, and a lot of it's in Spanish. So you can actually have local language production, and people are recognizing that there's a market for it. So we're really well placed in Thailand with the level of production here that is still kind of kept secret. I mean, it's in Asia they know it, but the level of production that you can accomplish and production value for less money here is really remarkable. So we're looking. We have a TV commercial arm, we have a feature film arm, and a documentary arm, and we're looking to develop our own content into the future. So we have 2 scripts that are being written now, and so while we'll continue to host films that come to Thailand, we'll also look to create original content, and I think that there's a lot of stories to be told in this region.
Yeah.
So bright future.
Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for you joining us for this interview.
Yes.
I'm Georgina Don for Thai Law Forum.